Have you ever wondered why you rarely see two dismissive avoidant attachment styles in a relationship together? And if it's even possible that it can work? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons we are unlikely to see this in the first part. And towards the end, we're going to talk about specifically how to make this work. If you are a DA or a recovering DA and you decide, okay, I actually want to be in a relationship with somebody I'm interested in, but I find that they might also be a dismissive avoidant attachment style. So, the very first thing that you want to know is that we are attracted to our subconscious comfort zone in relationship to how we treat ourselves. Dismissive avoidance, they're constantly prioritizing themselves and their own needs. Now, they do this from a survival place, in all fairness, like they're literally prioritizing their needs for safety and comfort the vast majority of the time because they're sort of in this survival state, right? They're often in fight or flight mode on a subtle level. Their nervous system is in the sympathetic nervous system mode. And so they're constantly trying to seek comfort and security to kind of quell that inner low level anxiety they're feeling the vast majority of the day. But in doing that, they're prioritizing themselves. And so guess what their subconscious comfort zone is? It's other people who prioritize themselves as well. So not people who prioritize themselves, sorry, people who prioritize the dismissive avoidant, right? People who are making them a priority is the comfort zone of themselves, making themselves a priority. I hope that makes sense because it's very mind warpy to hear, but that's essentially what we're attracted to. It's why you see two dismissive avoidants rarely in a relationship with each other. And there's certain exceptions that I'll tell you about in a moment. But it's also why you generally don't see anxious preoccupieds in relationships together. They're constantly dismissing themselves. So they're attracted to people who will dismiss them. It's that subconscious comfort zone. At the end of the day, the subconscious mind wants familiarity. It equates familiarity to safety and survival. And our most familiar aspect of self is the relationship to ourselves. It's how we treat ourselves on autopilot throughout the day. And you'll see some really clear examples of this. One thing that I noticed a lot working in my practice is partners of narcissists. And this is not me blaming the partner of a narcissist at all, but it's an interesting fact. And it's also something really helpful in the process of recovery from narcissistic abuse. But partners of narcissists, I would always unpack things with them prior to meeting the narcissist. And I would come to find that they were treating themselves like the narcissist treated them prior to the narcissist coming into their lives. And so what essentially took place is they were a match to that. The subconscious mind was like, oh, this is familiar, this is safe. And so while the conscious mind might have gone, this isn't healthy, the narcissist treating me this way isn't good, the subconscious mind says, no, it's familiar. Examples being, putting themselves down in their inner dialogue all the time, violating their own boundaries all the time without even consciously recognizing, putting everybody outside of themselves first. And what does the narcissist do? Well, they're also going to violate the person's boundaries. They're also going to put the person down and be harsh and cruel in the way they speak to this person, just like the person was in the way they speak to themselves. So you'll see all these parallels. And so I don't mean to get way too off topic here, but I'm trying to illustrate to you that dismissive avoidants don't have a subconscious comfort zone to be with another dismissive avoidant. And another thing that's really important that often takes place in a 2DA dynamic is dismissive avoidance, like a true dismissive avoidant, isn't usually somebody to like make a big first move if they have feelings for somebody already, because they're avoiding that vulnerability, right? They're kind of afraid of like that openness, that vulnerability. And even if they do make the first move, like even if they meet on a dating app or there's some kind of circumstance where two people set them up, like even if that first move is sort of like easy enough to make and it doesn't feel too vulnerable, the next thing you're going to see is this dynamic very easily loses traction because somebody's not showing up to put in the effort all the time. And what I often find with two dismissive avoidants when they first start dating is the flame burns out really quick. Even if there's feelings, even if there's interest, it's almost like nobody's really pushing the effort along. And so it's just not moving. It might move a little bit, but it's just never really enough to build that momentum that you're often needing for a relationship to progress from the dating stage into the honeymoon stage, into a commitment, into what happens next, right? Into our power struggle stage and stability stage once you work through that, and then the commitment and bliss stages. So you're generally seeing like lack of momentum, lack of vulnerability to make the first move, and lack of that comfort zone that's really largely responsible for what has a huge impact on attraction. So these are some of the reasons we'll most often not see dismissive avoidance together. But what often takes place if we are a dismissive avoidant, or um, we want to understand if we can be with another dismissive avoidant, like what are the potential exceptions to this rule? So I'm going to go into that in just a moment, but I want to let you know first that we are doing a Black Friday sale. It is a 14-day free trial to the personal development school. I'm super excited about it. We don't offer this often at all, and it's limited time. So this promotion will run for a few days. And what you can do is you can join the personal development school. If you are looking to reprogram your attachment style, the best courses to start off with are Anxious Preoccupied to Secure Reprogramming course, Dismissive Avoidant to Secure Reprogramming, Fearful Avoidant to Secure. So you've got these like very clear courses to help you actually understand how to recondition your subconscious mind to become securely attached and to also develop those really securely attached relationships. And when you check out the 14-day free trial, during that period of time, you actually get access to everything at PDS. So I do 4 live webinars a week. You can jump in, you can ask me questions on there. You can turn your camera on and communicate like that with me. You can leave your camera off if you prefer. You can type your questions in the chat, whatever's most comfortable for you. And I'll be in there 4 days a week to meet with you, to answer any questions you have. And you also get access to our daily live social events with trained facilitators and coaches who will be doing communication scripts practice and guided morning and evening routines and all those different features that we have at PDS, where you can also link up with like-minded community members. So you can check it all out for free for 7 days, for 14 days, just for a limited time using the link below. And what do we do when we have 2 dismissive avoidants and somebody's like, I want this to work? Basically, the way to get it to work is for somebody to become dominantly securely attached. Sometimes I would see relationships work where it'd be a securely attached person with a secondary DA style, like they still had these somewhat DA tendencies, but there was another dismissive avoidant. And as long as somebody was dominantly securely attached, somebody's there to model healthy communication, healthy progress. Somebody's there to like really push the needle moving, and it allows the dynamic to really unfold. And so this really looks like, in the context of dismissive avoidance, somebody showing up to make an effort to invest and not be so afraid by that vulnerability. And also to not look at this one. This is a huge breakdown, is that dismissive avoidance, because they can be sensitive to criticism and sensitive to like feeling like it's not working, or feeling like somebody's neglecting them or isn't interested. If you have 2 DAs in a dynamic, like if nobody's really willing to put themselves out there, it's also easy for both parties to feel rejected, to feel like, oh, the person's not interested, so why am I bothering? And to get into that like really like lack, shut down, protect myself mindset that's very common for dismissive avoidance. So when somebody's dominantly secure, we avoid that because somebody's not really taking those things as personally. They're not as sensitive to criticism. And there's somebody to really invest in that momentum and moving the needle, and also to open deeper dialogue, deeper conversation, model healthy communication between 2 parties, set up those dates, take that initiative. So you'll see a lot more of a chance of that surviving if somebody really starts doing that work. So if you are currently DA and you decide that you want to work through that, then what you can do is you can join in. You can check out the Dismissive Avoidant to Secure Reprogramming course, and then it will help you do a deep dive into moving the needle, becoming securely attached in a very results-oriented format very quickly. And that will also help you know exactly what you need to do to help your relationship survive and thrive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know any other questions below that you have about the securely attached style, coming out of dismissive avoidant, or just 2 dismissive avoidants in a relationship together, and what your questions are, what your hopes are, and let me know any future video content you want to see. I'm always checking back in to see more content or ideas that you guys have for what you want to see. So please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're enjoying this channel, and I will see you in the next video.